This is not a regular light bulb. This looks like a regular LED light bulb, but it's not. There's a little lithium-ion battery right in here that during a power outage will keep this light lit for 8 hours. And there's even circuitry in here that knows the difference between a power outage and you wanting to turn the light off. Get the Power Light Bulb for up to 67% off by going to www.powerlightbulb.com or click the link below. Good Monday. I'm still reporting on the coup. It's amazing how quickly the political situation can change when God steps in. This week, Jumpin' Joe Biden decided he was going to try to strike a death blow to the most prosperous state in the nation to try to divert attention from the big-time troubles of the nation's number 1 and number 3 most populous states, California and New York. California's Governor Newsom has mismanaged the COVID situation so badly that a recall petition is spreading like wildfire, and at this point it is likely to succeed and bounce Governor Newsom out of his chief executive chair in the next month. In New York, Governor Cuomo will be lucky to escape a jail term after his apparently deliberate mishandling of his state's COVID response by cleaning out the hospitals of the already impoverished, seriously ill COVID patients and throwing them into nursing homes where the deadly virus was likely to spread. So this week, Biden has proclaimed that he will try to punish Florida for its success by imposing a travel ban in and out of the state. Maria Bartiromo had Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on her show yesterday morning to discuss this and other comparisons between how DeSantis has governed with enlightenment compared to the corruption of California and New York.
Florida has been the #1 destination currently searched on the Travel Zoo website. What would a travel ban domestically mean for Florida?
Well, one, it would be unconstitutional. It would be a political attack against Florida. If you look, Maria, right now, you hear this debate over schools. Florida schools have been open the whole school year. We have every parent in Florida has the right to send their child to in-person instruction. Every worker has a right to work and earn a living and put food on their table, and every business has a right to operate. And consequently, our state is doing very well compared to these other states in terms of education and economy. There's no basis in reality to do this except to punish a state that is doing it better than what his experts have recommended. Biden is a lockdowner. His advisors are lockdowners. Lockdowns don't work. We've demonstrated that. We're not turning back, Maria, and they will not be able to get away with targeting Florida.
Assess the situation in Florida over the last year. I know home construction is up, home sales are up, economic growth. How is Florida doing?
Well, as you can imagine, March, April, when everything was grinding to a halt, I mean, we had a lot of problems like anyone, particularly because tourism stopped. But since then, we now have an unemployment rate that is significantly less than the national average. We had a 25% increase in home sales year over year, 2019 to 2020. If you look at the top 25 places where new home construction is taking place at the highest levels, a plurality of those are in Florida. I think we have 6 or 7 of the communities. The #1 place in the country for new home construction by far is the Villages retirement community, which has thrived during the pandemic, even though, of course, seniors are more vulnerable to COVID than the bulk of the population. So we have a lot of great trends. And I would also say, Maria, you have lockdown states that are putting people out of business. We focused on lifting people up, but by doing that, you actually have new entrepreneurs coming to start new ventures. New restaurants are opening in Florida. New hotels are opening in Florida. And so people view Florida as a place where they can follow their dreams. It is a free state. We are doing a lot to focus on protecting elderly people from COVID. We vaccinated, I think, about 1.75 million seniors so far. About 40% of all seniors in Florida have gotten a shot. We're doing it every day, continuing until we get all the seniors who want a shot, get a shot. So there's a whole bunch of things we've been doing for COVID, but at the same time, we've lifted our state up, we've saved our economy, and I think we're going to be first out of the gate once we're able to put COVID behind our country.
DeSantis, Governor, we are talking about the potential for a domestic ban on travel, and some people are saying this is a contradiction to what we've been hearing from President Biden because of his open border policy. They are now talking about screening domestic travelers, but the New York Times has reported that illegals are not being screened for COVID at the Texas border. Your reaction to these executive orders?
Of course they're not being screened for COVID at the southern border because this is all political. So he's opening the border. He's letting illegals pour in. They're not doing any COVID tests. They're just coming into the communities. We have no idea what type of COVID or other things that may be carrying, but yet he wants to potentially make you take a test if you just get on an airplane and fly from one American city to the next, or he wants to prevent travel to the state of Florida. This stinks to high heaven. It is a huge contradiction, and you can't square wanting opening borders for illegal aliens, but then also restricting U.S. citizens from basically traveling around the country as they see fit. And I think the American people see the hypocrisy in that.
Talk to us about Florida's fight against big tech. What can Florida state legislature do to hold big tech accountable? What are your plans?
I think we could do a lot. One, we can support Floridians' data privacy. Maria, if you buy a phone, you think you paid the money, you have the phone, and that's the end of it. They are constantly pulling data off your phone. They're selling it. They make hundreds of billions of dollars a year on that. Consumers should have the right to opt out of that, and they shouldn't have their data taken without their consent. We also don't want big tech interfering in our elections, whether that means deplatforming a candidate like they did to President Trump, or whether they're suppressing information like they did with the Hunter Biden story. So we want our elections in Florida to be free from that, and we have penalties if big tech tries to meddle. And then deplatforming and censorship, they put themselves out as these open platforms, and they have always these terms of service, they're always changing them. They don't apply it fairly across the political spectrum. That, for us, is considered, we think, a consumer fraud. So we're authorizing suits under our consumer fraud statute to be able for individual Floridians to bring against big tech if they get censored or deplatformed, and our state attorney general to do it as well. So they need to be held accountable. They have way, way too much power. They're not using it in a way that is constructive for our society. So I think Florida's leading. I think we've had a lot of interest from other states. There's going to see a lot of other states, I think, follow Florida's lead. You do need to do some of the things federally, like you talked with Jimmy Jordan about in the previous segment, whether that's antitrust or Section 230. But there is a lot the states can do, and we're going to continue to pursue that in the state of Florida.
You are also pursuing something along the lines of the rule of law as it relates to rioting, right? You had mentioned that the last time we spoke, you were going to do something this upcoming March.
Yeah, so the legislature meets March 2nd, and we're going to have the strongest anti-looting and anti-rioting legislation in the country. It's going to apply regardless of why you're rioting. I don't care which team you're on. We're going to stand for the rule of law in the state of Florida. But if you are doing things like looting, if you're assaulting cops, if you're doing all these things that we saw over the summer in many cities in the country, in Florida, you're going to jail for that. We are not going to tolerate it, and we look forward to passing that, and I think it'll be good for the state.
Trump DeSantis 2024. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day. There's a new administration in Washington. What does that mean for your retirement account? There's a lot of uncertainty, and markets hate uncertainty. But if you qualify, you may be able to convert your retirement account into solid gold. Protect with a gold IRA this month, and Noble Gold will gift you with this stunning solid silver Apollo 11 commemorative coin from the U.S. Mint. Click on the link below or call 877-646-5346 to see if you qualify.